Revolutionary War soldier and Shelby County, Alabama pioneer Lewis Turner was born in 1761 in Frederick County, Virginia. Frederick County, Virginia, known at the time as Virginia House of Burgesses, was represented by George Washington. Washington also had a surveying office in nearby Winchester. By 1778, the Turner family was living in Union County, South Carolina. Unionville, now Union County, South Carolina, was originally home of the Cherokee Indians, named for the old Union Church erected in 1765. Early backcountry settlers were mainly from Virginia and Pennsylvania. Much fighting took place in South Carolina during the Revolutionary War. In 1779, Lewis Turner joined the Revolutionary War, enlisting as a private in Captain William Grant and Colonel Thomas Brandon's South Carolina's 2nd Spartan Regiment. The 2nd Spartans were formed in 1777, a split from the original regiment formed in 1775. The British captured Savannah in December 1778. Shortly after Lewis Turner joined the 2nd Spartans in 1779, they headed to Savannah, Georgia. Americans, with the help from the French, made an attempt in the Siege of Savannah to recapture Savannah, but failed. Lewis Turner later recalled in his pension application that the fight commenced on Sunday morning, about the break of day. The British were too hard for us, we had to retreat. In late 1779, France and Spain declared war on Great Britain. Lewis Turner and the 2nd Spartans headed back to South Carolina. The Siege of Charleston, from March 29 to May 12, 1780, was one of the longest and worst defeats of the Revolution. The guerrilla-style warfare terrorized Charleston's civilians. Homes were burned. Soldiers in prison boats in Charleston's harbor were ravaged by disease. American troops had no choice but to surrender. During the surrender, British and German troops captured a massive amount of battle supplies. A careless discharge of a musket in the powder room set off a massive explosion. One man whose house was burned down by the British soldiers in Charleston took it personally. Thomas Sumter retired from the Army in 1778 with the rank of colonel, rejoined, and was promoted to the rank of brigadier general. Soon, General Sumter gathered up South Carolina backcountry volunteers, including Private Lewis Turner and the 2nd Spartans. With the help of Sumter's return, the Patriots' energy was renewed. Lieutenant General Cornwallis, British commander in the Southern Theater, ordered the ruthless Lieutenant Colonel Banastre Tarleton, nicknamed the Bloody Band, to disrupt Sumter. Luckily for Sumter, a deserter from Tarleton's 63rd Regiment revealed his plans and location. Colonel Thomas Brandon of the 2nd Spartans, who knew the area, suggested Blackstock Farm as a strong defense position. William Blackstock's tobacco plantation is located in Union County, South Carolina, east of the Spartanburg County line, south of the Tiger River. On November 18, 1780, Tarleton's 63rd Regiment were bathing and watering their horses in the Broad River when Sumter's raiders fired at them, getting their attention. As the 63rd Regiment pressed toward Sumter, members of the 2nd Spartans on patrol detected their approach and quickly alerted the others waiting at the Blackstock plantation. On November 20, 1780, Sumter places his men where they could not be seen in farm outbuildings, behind stout fences, in surrounding woods, and laying flat on slopes. Tarleton's men approached Sumter's men, including Private Lewis Turner, and the 2nd Spartans attacked. Tarleton's horse was shot underneath him, and a retreat was ordered. This was the first time the British Lieutenant Colonel Banastre Tarleton suffered a loss, and it was severe. When Sumter moved into position to watch the British withdrawal, members of Tarleton's 63rd fired. General Thomas Sumter was wounded in 6 places, but managed to ride back to his command post. He would be out of action for about 2 months. Lieutenant Colonel Banastre Tarleton, embarrassed by his first loss, lied in his report to British Commander General Cornwallis. After the Battle of Blackstock, Private Lewis Turner was employed in skirmishes before being discharged in 1781. In 1780, Lewis Turner married his wife Nancy. Their children were Francis, Letty, Elijah, David, Sari, Elizabeth, Nancy, Louis, William, and Phoebe. Their oldest child, Francis, born June 3, 1785, married James Lewis Kendrick in 1804 in South Carolina. James was the son of Lewis Turner's dear friend from the war, Abel Kendrick. James and Francis' children were Martin, Abel, Susanna, Nancy, John, Louis, James Jr., David, Elijah, William, Isham, Judy, and Isaac. In the early 1800s, the Turner and Kendrick families set out on a journey together, migrating west, seeking land of new opportunity. Abel and Judith Kendrick settled in Hall County, Georgia. The Turner family was in Shelby County, Alabama by the 1830 census. James and Francis Kendrick first settled in Jefferson County, Alabama, but soon joined the Turners in Shelby County. In 1834, James and Francis Kendrick and their children began gaining land titles in the Yellowleaf, Shelby County, Alabama, later known as Cay Springs for Kendrick Springs, now known as Chelsea, Alabama, and the surrounding areas. In 1832, Lewis Turner made an application and was approved in Shelby County, Alabama court for pension as a soldier of the Revolutionary War. Lewis Turner died in Shelby County, Alabama on October 10, 1834. Francis Turner Kendrick died in Shelby County, Alabama on March 5, 1853, buried in the old Quinn Burying Ground in Chelsea, Alabama, surrounded by many of her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Lewis Turner's patriotism and family heritage lives on in Chelsea today.